Hello, I'm Tom West. Welcome to Life in the God Lane. And I hope you'll subscribe to my channel, give me thumbs up, make comments, send this around to other people. Hit the bell so you get notified every time I put one out. I put something out every day. And we're working our way through the 10 Commandments. And this is a power verse for the day for January 30th, 2022. And I call it No Adultery. It's from Deuteronomy 5, verse 18, the 7th of the 10 Commandments. It says simply this: you shall not commit adultery. Dennis Prager wrote a book called The 10 Commandments, subtitled Still the Best Moral Code. Now, Dennis Prager is a Jewish guy, and he happens to be a Hebrew scholar. And so he understands what the 10 Commandments mean. His book it's a really great read, and some great teaching, consistent with Christian teaching as well, because the 10 Commandments, basically, they were Jewish, okay? And so we accept them on that basis. His discussion of commandment number 7 starts with a joke. He says this: Moses comes down from Mount Sinai and announces, I have good news and bad news. Good news, I got him down to 10. Bad news, adultery stays. So do not commit adultery. It's the best way to protect the family. Protect the family is the best way to protect prosperity and long life in a culture. Adultery can damage all that. Adultery is having sexual relations with anyone other than your husband or your wife. Love can be difficult. You may have noticed that. If a married person feels romance or attraction for another person, often their spouse, other than their spouse, that drive for love and intimacy can deceive. It has to do with feelings, and feelings can deceive and lead a person off into adultery, and it happens way too often. In fact, I've been married for almost 49, April 6th, be 49 years. So I have a lot of experience with being married, being in love, and avoiding adultery. It will always start, adultery always starts with, listen to this, an emotional connection. And my take has always been to guard against the emotional connection by not spending time alone with someone of the opposite sex. So you avoid that, avoid the emotional connection, and avoid adultery. Avoid the emotional connection, and you'll avoid the physical connection and avoid adultery, and keep everybody in much better shape. Adultery can result, and often does result, in divorce and breakup of a family. Everybody's hurt. Everybody's made weaker by a divorce. Now, sometimes there's no way around it, and I understand that. But everybody gets hurt by a divorce. When adultery leads to family breakup, it'll lead to fractured parent-child relations. Great people are nurtured by both parents, and that's the thing we need to aim for. Fracture that, and people get hurt. If someone's cheating on their spouse, the other person is being deceived. And when it comes out in the open, and it always does, even if the marriage is saved, there's permanent damage done. People are hurt, and it doesn't just go away. Often, adultery can lead to an unwanted pregnancy. That's a disaster, okay? Which leads to a life of confusion and pain for the child and other siblings and all the parents. Everybody gets hurt. Everybody gets wounded by that. And by the way, people get hurt by adultery even if they give permission, like in an open marriage. Why? Because God's plan is to be one flesh with your spouse. And you know what's impossible? Being one flesh with two people is impossible. It violates God's plan. So going outside God's design damages marriage and wrecks things for people and their families. So avoid adultery intentionally, like the plague. And then avoid wrecking families and avoid damaged people. And you'll keep the family strong, setting all involved up for more prosperity, longer lives, and better quality of life. So avoid adultery like the plague. Now, What happens if adultery happens? Seek God's forgiveness, seek God's healing, seek the forgiveness of everyone you've hurt. Restoration is possible with God who can raise the dead. Seek him for healing. He won't let you down. Have a great day. I hope to see you tomorrow.